For over a century, we've thought of inheritance as a pretty simple handoff of DNA. But what if I told you that you inherited so much more? That your very first home wasn't some sterile clean room, but a bustling microbial metropolis? Okay, let's dive into this because we're about to completely rewrite your origin story. And we're going to kick things off with a question that honestly sounds like it's been pulled straight from a science fiction movie. But the answer is not only yes, it actually pulls back the curtain on one of the most incredible biological processes we're only just starting to wrap our heads around. Because what sounds, kind of shocking is actually this profoundly elegant system. This isn't some glitch in the matrix, it's a feature. It's a cross-generational delivery service that's been perfecting itself for millions of years. To really understand how all this works, we first have to tear down a foundational belief that has dominated medicine for more than 100 years. This idea, which came from a French pediatrician named Henri Tissier, taught that you spent your first 9 months in like a biological panic room, a perfectly sealed vault, completely cut off from the entire microscopic world. Now, what's really interesting is how they proved this. For decades, scientists would take a sample, wipe it on a petri dish, and just wait. And when nothing grew, they concluded nothing was there. But what they were really doing was casting a net with giant holes in it and then concluding there were no fish in the ocean. And this, right here, perfectly illustrates the huge paradigm shift. We've gone from picturing the womb as this sterile, sealed-off VIP lounge to understanding it as a thriving, interactive ecosystem, a community garden where life is actively collaborating from day one. The game completely changed when we stopped trying to grow the microbes and started just looking for their DNA instead. With advanced sequencing, researchers found the genetic fingerprints for these huge, diverse communities of microorganisms in perfectly healthy pregnancies. Turns out, the vault was never sealed at all. So what were they all doing in there? Well, for over 9 months, these microbes were acting as tiny sparring partners for your developing immune system. They were priming it, training it for the world it was about to enter. Your ability to fight off infection was being calibrated before you even took your first breath. This discovery just forces us to ask a much bigger question, right? If the womb is that complex, what are we really inheriting from our parents? I mean, we all learned this in biology class. It's a simple 50-50 split of chromosomes. You get your genes, and that pretty much dictates who you are. But if the starting environment is this crowded and interactive, is DNA really the whole story? Not even close. And that brings us to this new framework, the FIDDY model. I know, it's a bit of an alphabet soup, but the core idea is absolutely revolutionary. Your mother didn't just give you a genetic code, she gave you the machinery to actually read it. Think of it like this. The DNA you get from both of your parents is like the architectural blueprint for a house. But the Lecce model suggests your mother also provided the entire construction crew, all the tools, the cement mixers, and even the power grid to get the job done. The sperm essentially just delivers its genetic hard drive. But the egg provides all the cytoplasm, that's the stuff that fills the cell, which includes mitochondria for energy and all the organelles that actually carry out the DNA's instructions. That entire operating system, it comes exclusively from your mother. Okay, so your mother gave you the whole factory, but the connection doesn't just stop at birth. Let's circle back to that wild idea from the beginning, that ultimate cellular recycling program. This is the FBB cycle, and it is genuinely mind-blowing. It suggests that your mother isn't just giving you nutrients in her milk, she is literally storing your own cells and then feeding them back to you. So how does this incredible journey even work? Well, during pregnancy, some of your cells actually cross the placenta and travel into your mother's mammary glands, where they just wait. Then after you're born, she packages them up into her breast milk and delivers them right back to you. It's the world's most sophisticated express delivery service. But how do they possibly survive this stomach acid? This is where the biological engineering is just brilliant. First, breast milk isn't just passive food. It actively works as a buffer, temporarily making the stomach less acidic. And on top of that, a newborn stomach is naturally less acidic anyway, so it's a safer environment. Then, the milk wraps these precious cells in protective proteins, a kind of microscopic armor, letting them pass safely through the gut and into your bloodstream to help finish building your body. So when you zoom out and combine the prenatal microbiome, the cellular factory, and this incredible recycling program, our entire view of biology starts to change. It's not just about us as individuals, it's about our relationship with the entire microscopic world. And this leads to what some are calling a second unification of biology. For years, we saw Pasteur's germ theory, microbes are the enemy, and Darwin's theory of evolution as two separate ideas. This new theory merges them. It says we don't just evolve despite our microbes, we evolve because of them, in tandem. So what does this all mean for you and your origin story?
Well, it fundamentally redefines where you begin and where the rest of the world ends.
Now, before we go rewriting every textbook, it is so crucial to understand this. We're talking about new, provocative models. They're brilliant frameworks for sure, but fully proving the long-term effects of these cycles, that's going to take decades of really complex, long-term studies. Science is still doing the hard work of validating all this. But even as theories, they give us this powerful new summary of our beginnings. You weren't just assembled on a sterile production line. No, you grew in a collaborative garden. You inherited the whole construction site, and you may have even finished the job using recycled parts delivered by your mother. And that is the ultimate takeaway. You are not a static collection of your parents' DNA. From the moment of conception, you have been a dynamic, flourishing, and deeply interconnected ecosystem, a marvel of cross-generational, symbiotic life. And this leaves us with a profound question for the future. As we develop technologies like artificial wombs, or as the use of surrogacy increases, we have to ask, if we remove this intricate cellular economy from the equation, what essential part of the human blueprint might we be leaving out?